Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday Sweat Club. How are you? How is your brain? How is your body? Today's class is going to be a little bit different, potentially a little bit slower than normal, just given that everything that's going on in the world. I know a lot of us might be feeling a little overwhelmed right now. So we are going to begin with one of my favorite meditations, and then we'll ease into the practice and just see where it goes. So we will begin in your favorite pose to meditate in. So if that's Shavasana, you can take it in Shavasana. Otherwise, come to a comfortable seat, maybe on a pillow. I'm going to use my cute little meditation cushion. All right. And then get comfortable. If you have a little bit of wiggling you need to do to find a pose that works for you, by all means, take it. Let your eyes close. And let your breath just be easy. So don't change your breathing patterns at all. Equal inhale, equal exhale, nice and short. And then take a deep breath in. Exhale slowly out the mouth. Close your mouth. And let's just return to that little question I started class with. First of all, how is your mind? Your thinking mind lately? How have the quality of your thoughts been? Remember, there's no good or bad, just is. And then how has your physical body been lately? I know it's easy to fixate maybe on the things that aren't working well, but maybe you can also find some things that are working really well in your body. Parts of you that feel good. And then take one hand on your heart, one hand on your low belly. We'll move into our loving kindness meditation, which begins by first just imagining a warm ball of light right over your heart center. You can feel it under your hand and radiating right from the heart. This ball of light represents our capacity for love. So feel free to assign a color to your ball of light if you would like it to be a certain color. Maybe it's really bright right now because you feel like you have a lot of love to give, or maybe it's not so bright because you're feeling a little fatigued or tired. That's fine too. And just visualize this ball of light right over the heart, burning bright and steady. And then allow the ball of light to grow And it starts to envelop your head, your shoulders, all the way down to your hips, your knees and your toes. Now that your whole body is glowing with this light, send yourself some love. Maybe there's a part of your life that's been aching a little bit lately, something that's been feeling challenging. Visualize the light around your body. And send this capacity that you have for love right back to yourself. Sometimes the hardest of all, isn't it? Feel it radiate from your head all the way to your toes. Now watch as the ball of light goes from a big, expansive state and becomes very small and hovers once more right over your heart. Maybe you notice that after sending yourself love, you have more capacity for love. Your light burns a little bit brighter. Now visualize this ball of light leaving from your chest, from under your hand, and traveling out into the world to someone else that really needs it. Find someone else you would like to send love to. And visualize them in your mind and see the ball of light traveling from you right to their heart. Maybe you can even imagine how they'll feel as they receive this love. How it might change their day, their mind, and their body. See the ball of light hovering just over their heart, burning bright. And then watch it lift up into the air. And it has one more place to go. The last place that you'll send your love is to someone in your life who challenges you. Someone maybe you don't have the best relationship with. And allow the ball of light to travel to them. Even if there's resistance in the body, resistance in the mind, feel yourself allowing your love to float across the distance and envision it landing right over this person's heart. Once again, imagine how it might change their day to receive this love. Maybe how it would even change their behavior. And perhaps how it would change the relationship that you have with them. Or at the very least, maybe just make them a little bit easier to tolerate. see that ball of light shine bright over their heart. Take a deep breath in. And out. Watch the ball of light travel from this last person to the person you sent it to who you thought needed it, and right back to your heart. This capacity that we have for love, especially in times of trouble, and allow that to shine bright over your heart and make your body feel warmer for one more breath in. Exhale, you can release your hands down towards the ground or down by your thighs. And then allow your eyes to open. Feel free to take a moment before we get moving to reflect on how that went for you. Typically that last one can be really challenging, right? Sending love to someone who's a bit more complicated, but just allow yourself to sit with the feelings, any emotions you might have for one more beat. And then you can lean forward if you're in a seat and come off of your cushion if you have one. If you're in Shavasana, you're going to need to roll up and meet us in a comfortable seat with your legs extended out in front of you. So if this isn't accessible without a cushion under your butt, you can keep it, but I'd like you to try, if you're able to sit up roughly straight or even with the hands back, try and do this without a cushion today. Then roll your shoulders back, so plug one shoulder back, plug the other shoulder back, and push the chest up to the sky. Open the throat slightly, so this is just really cementing our capacity, right? Open heart today. Take a breath in. And exhale. Inhale once more. And then tuck the chin, lean forward, round the shoulders forward, and come into flexion. Hands extend, and let this be a really passive forward fold, so you don't need to pull yourself in. Allow your toes even to fall out and relax your legs. Let your head be heavy. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. And out. All right, inhale, lift back up, walk your hands up your legs, and then take your hands to heart center. Try to lift your left foot up off the ground, just briefly, a little bit of a lift, and then draw the left knee up towards the chest. Foot can come on the ground or maybe just the heel. Same thing with the right, lift the right foot up off the ground, maybe hover for a second. Draw the knee up into the chest, and then hover until you bring the ankle or the heel or maybe both the feet on the ground. Now you can lift your hands high. And exhale, fold down and in, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a nice little squeeze. Thank yourself for showing up to class today. Not always the easiest thing to do, especially on a Sunday. And then reach your hands back up with your next breath in. Exhale, take your hands behind your thighs. Roll your shoulders back, so plug the shoulder blades together, and then lift your left toes up off the ground if they aren't already. Maybe you stay here or left foot up off the ground and hover. Keep the toe flexed if you can. And just stay for 3, 2, and 1. Heel down, opposite side up, lift. Option to just keep the toe lifted if you're really feeling like you need something a little less today. 3, 2, 1. Awesome. Heel comes down, shoulders back. So make sure you're maintaining that open heart. Then lift one foot up, the other foot, and hold in a brief little Navasana. Option to extend the hands forward, but a reminder that you don't have to. Everything I tell you today in class, totally an option. If you want to lay down and do nothing, I approve. Do whatever you want. I'm just here as your guide. Hold for 3, 2, and 1. Hands behind the thighs, feet come down. Wrap the arms around the shins. Take a breath in. And a breath out. All right, lift your hands back up. Extend the legs forward, release them down to the ground. Bring your hands to heart center, and now we're going to come to tabletop pose. If you've been here before, you know the drill without using your hands. So you might lean over onto one hip, try to kick your feet around, come to your knees, and then the last thing to come to the ground will be the hands. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Let's move through some cat and cow. As you inhale, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, gaze forward. Exhale, tuck your chin and round. And then a welcome invitation to continue like this or start to add in other movements. So if you like, you can move side to side, you can push back to child's pose, or just stick with on the exhales, rounding into cat. Inhales, belly drop, chest looks forward, cow. Take 2 more rounds, equal inhales, equal exhales. If you haven't already, you might start to incorporate your Ujjayi breath here, constricting the back of your throat slightly, making it sound like an ocean wave. And then come back to center when you've finished. Walk your fingertips out so they face the outside edge of the mat, and just turn in the wrists and maybe move side to side if that feels okay. If this is too much pressure on the wrist, you can walk the hands forward and do the exact same thing. If it's possible, you might start to turn the hands backwards so fingertips point towards the knees. A reminder, you could do that out here. That's going to make the angle harder, or in here on this side to make the angle easier. All right, back to center. Walk the fingertips back around. Then bring your toes together, knees wide, push back into a child's pose, sit the hips back, hands forward. Take a breath in and out. Inhale, pull up, come to tabletop pose, separate the toes, and then exhale, push the butt back. So we're gonna get a little lower every time we do this. Inhale, coming forwards, and maybe you start to allow the hips to drop forwards just a tiny bit. Be careful on the knees, no need to drop too far. Exhale, push your butt back. Again, inhale forward. Exhale back. Last time, come on up. And then walk your knees together. Find the hands under the shoulders one more time. Lift your left leg up and back. Take the bend out of the spine. So notice if you're automatically back bending here, we want to take the back bend out. You could have the toe just on the ground if you're not ready to lift. Push the hands into the mat so the scapula are coming down the side of your body. They're separating. Core pulls in and holds. 2, 1. All right, take external rotation, i.e. turn your toes out to the side, and then start to widen that leg out to the side. You might drag it across the floor or see how far you can get and then place the foot down onto the ground. Oh, nice big stretch. Try pushing that foot out to the side, and you can move butt back just like we did before. And then inhale, you'll come forward. Same kind of shifting concept. Exhale back. Option to just stay where you are. Inhale forward. One more time. Butt comes back. Inhale up and forward. And then we have the fun part. Make sure to push into the hands, engage through the core. Try to lift the foot up off the ground with the legs straight if you can. Bring that leg back. Internal rotation, and then knees together, tabletop pose. Take a breath in, drop your belly, roll your shoulders back, look forward. Exhale, tuck and round. Inhale back to center. Extend your right foot back. Toe might start on the ground or lift up off of the ground. But remember, we take a little bit of a calibration pause here. So naturally when we do this, we have the idea that we should back bend. But instead, think about pulling the core in. Push the hands into the mat, and once more, scapula slide down the sides of the back, almost like your upper back is in cat pose. Hold here. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Now, external rotation in the right thigh, or just turn the right toes out to the side. And then straighten the leg. You might drag the foot across the ground, or keep it lifted. Hold, squeeze your butt cheek. Yep, the butt cheek's working. And then eventually put the right foot down on the ground. Push the right foot out to the side slightly so you can get a little bit of a stretch on the inside of the leg. Take a breath in. Option to stay or exhale, come back and you mount. Inhale, lift up and forward. Exhale back. Again, inhale up. Exhale back, nice. Inhale, come forward, get excited for what's to come. Power up, push into the hands, try to lift the leg up. Maybe it's straight and then drag it back. Option to be dragging across the floor until we find internal rotation and drop the knees together once more. Walk your hands one handprint forward. Curl your toes under, push up and back into downward facing dog with your feet close together. So we're in a narrow down dog. Option to stay in tabletop here if down dog isn't super accessible to you. Feel free to pedal through the feet. And then eventually settle in. Allow your body to be still. Arguably sometimes more challenging than moving. Hold here. Breath in. And out. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk 1 footprint at a time, legs either straight or bent to the top of the mat, and fold into Uttanasana, head is heavy. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, fold. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, half lift, flat back. Maybe try getting the weight forward towards the toes, and then exhale, fold. Last time, lift up. And exhale, fold down. Option to just let your arms hang, or maybe even grab for the back of the legs and just tug yourself in. Just a little gentle hug with the arms. 3, 2. And if you have the hands, release them down by the sides. Separate your feet, hip width distance apart. Next breath in, sit your butt back and take your arms wide. So we're pushing all the way through a chair pose. Come to standing, reach the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center, hands by your sides, Siddhasana. Yes, we are standing. Breath in and a breath out. Let's keep moving. Inhale, lift up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, shift your weight over into your left leg and step your right foot back. So see how far back you can get the right foot, and then wiggle your left foot out to the outside of your left hand. So wiggle it all the way out to the side of the mat. Great. Now, option to take the back knee down and just find a nice big stretch on the right hip flexor, or you could do the same thing with the leg up. Again, finding a stretch, but we're requiring a little bit more engagement to support ourselves here. So stay for a little bit and move left and right with the hands, forward and back with the hands. Ideally, just encouraging this hip flexor to let go for a second. Inhale. Exhale. If your back knee is down, bring it up and come meet me. Look at your left toes. Turn your left toes out to the side. So the heel stays where it is, left toes turn out. And then you might take 1 step, 2 steps, or 10 steps into Malasana, our yogi squat, at the top of the mat by stepping the right foot to the outside of the right hand. Get your butt as low as you can. Now, if you're anything like me and you're like, oh, we can rest. No, we can't rest. So if you're low in your yogi squat, let's pull it up a little bit so we're still engaged in the bottom of the squat. That way it's fair. Everybody's working together. That's the goal. Reach your hands forward. Push your knees out to the side. Pull your pelvic floor up and in. Hold. 3, 2, 1. Now comes the fun part. We have to stand up. So we're going to stand up slow to a count of 5. Ready? Easy does it. Smooth. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Step your feet together. Hands by your sides. Siddhasana. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, bend in your knees, shift your weight over into your right foot, step your left leg back, low lunge, and then same thing, wiggle your right foot out to the side. Option to bring the back knee down and just be like, oh yeah, nice stretch on that left hip flexor. Option to keep the back knee up, a little bit more engaged, but we're still pushing the hips down. So feel free to move forward and back, side to side. Sometimes I encourage a little movement, but because I feel like it eases us deeper into the stretch than if we sat there and we were like, oh, I'm gonna push myself into this stretch so hard. Instead, we're almost like rocking ourselves into the stretch. Telling the body it's okay for 3, 2, and 1. Awesome. So if your knee was down, let's bring the knee back up. Then look at your right foot. Turn your right toes out to the side. Heel stays where it is. Now that you know where we're going, yeah, another yogi squat. I know, we have 2 sides. We got to do it again. Look forward and try to shift one big step, left foot to the outside of the left hand, or you might take 5 or 10 steps to get there. I don't care how long it takes you, just so you eventually find your Malasana at the top of the mat. A reminder, if you're down here chilling, no, you're not. You're up here with me. Lift up, pelvic floor in, hands can be to heart center first. Now, push your knees into your elbows into your knees, just briefly. Perfect. Now push your knees away from your elbows so they aren't touching. Reach the hands forward and we'll come to standing over a 5. You can do it. Don't go too fast. 4. I know, my legs too. 3, 2, and 1. Awesome work. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and step right back to either tabletop or downward facing dog if that's comfortable. Then we will all come forward to either tabletop or plank. Push into the hands briefly and let's hold plank for a little bit. You might have the knees down, that's okay. Your scapula, your shoulder blades should be away from each other. So think about cat in your upper spine to start. Then take a breath in. As you exhale, retract your scapula. So squeeze the scapula together first, then bend in the elbows and lower down very slow to the ground until you're on your belly. Nice work. Let's walk the hands out to the sides, fingertips only, no palms on the ground, and then inhale, lift up to any form of a cobra. So you might not even be very high. You could even have yourself down here. And then same concept, sway side to side for a little bit. Drop one shoulder forward, lift up, and then maybe the other shoulder drops forward and you look to the left or right, opposite side. Take a few more. All right, back to center, lift high, and then lower down. Hands come by your sides, palms on the ground, thumbs in line with your nipples. Curl your toes under. Option 1, push yourself up to tabletop. Option 2, if you're trying plank, remember you lift the knees first, pull the belly in, shoulder blades back, and then push up to plank. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale. Exhale. All right, inhale your right leg high. Let's point the toe today. Internal rotation in the thigh to keep that hip closed. So we really think about dropping the right hip down even though we're lifting the right leg up. Take a breath in, sink your left heel down. Exhale, right knee, right tricep. You can do this from tabletop too. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, right knee, left tricep. Might just squeeze under the belly, that's fine too. Inhale, right leg high. Exhale, knee to nose. Take a breath in and stay, because you can. And then exhale, step through, low lunge. Back knee up off the mat this time. Inhale, let's come up into crescent pose. Give yourself some time. You're probably going to be wobbly, that's fine. Find your drishti, your point of focus out in front of you. Reach the hands up and then sink yourself down once you feel stable in the legs. Now your arms are just as strong as your legs, reaching. And then pull right hip back, left hip forward. Big shift of the hips to ensure our hips are in alignment, both pointing forward. Breath in. Breath out. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, breath in. And then exhale, spin the back heel down, come to warrior two. Arms are long. And then let's take the hands to the legs for a second. So bring your hands to your thighs. In warrior two, we're in slight external rotation. That means the thighs roll out. So take your hands to your thighs and physically roll them outwards behind you. Feel how that changes the shape a little bit. Then sink down and into the pose. Great, come back up. Now try rolling the hips in and see what that would feel like in warrior two. Terrible, probably. Feels weird. I just want you to feel the reverse. All right, come back up. External rotation, roll the thighs out. Think about tucking butt under a little bit. And then come back down, extend the arms. Inhale. Exhale. Again, inhale. Maintain the shape of the legs. Exhale. Once more. Breath in. Exhale, take your hands to your hips, straighten your front leg, turn both your toes to the side of the mat. So we're taking a wide-legged forward fold. If you like, turn your toes in a tiny bit more. What this does, notice when I have us turn the toes in, if your hands are still on your thighs, that's internal rotation. So same concept. We're going to use internal rotation to help us get deeper. So roll your thighs inward with your hands. Notice how your butt just pushes back, right? And then allow the butt to lead you backwards as you fold forward. Eventually, hands might reach down towards the ground. If you can get your head pretty low, you can bring the hands to the ground or even to the ankles, pull yourself down and in. Really your flavor here. But see if you can't focus on maintaining that internal rotation in the legs and then rock your weight towards your toes, pull your belly button in and see if you can get even deeper. Breath in. And out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. And fold. All right, inhale, lift up halfway. So hands might come to the ground, maybe hands to the hips. Exhale, stay. Inhale, bend in your knees very slightly and then come all the way back up to standing. Reach yourself up. Perfect. Turn back towards the front of the mat. Find your warrior two briefly. So front toe points forward. Take a breath in. And then exhale, sweep the hands down to the inside of your foot. Wiggle your right foot out to the side and lower your back knee down. We're in this nice stretch again. The knee down for everybody this time. Option to move side to side, left and right. Now that you've found the stretch, you may want to stay here and just enjoy. This is counteracting all the sitting we do, right? All the sitting throughout the day. If that feels okay and you want to take a little bit more of a strength-based version of this, connect your knee to your tricep and try to lift your foot up towards your butt and hold. 3, 2, 1. Walk the foot back forward. That was hard. I did it and I agree. It was definitely hard. All right, now curl your back toe under, lift your back knee up. Take a breath in. Same concept, we're moving back to down dog, but maybe you can push into your hands, connect your knee to your tricep and lift your foot, hover. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Breath in. And out. Inhale your left leg high, point your toe today. Same concept, we're dropping the left hip down, internal rotation while we try to lift the left foot higher. Push into all 10 fingers. Inhale. Exhale, sink your right heel down. Take a breath in. Exhale, right knee, or left knee, sorry, left tricep. Your right knee should not be doing anything. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, left knee, right tricep. Tuck it down and under. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee to nose, hold, take a breath in. Exhale, step through low lunge. Preparing for crescent. Inhale, lift your hands high, crescent pose. So first, find your balance. What are you focusing on in front of you to stay stable? Something that's not moving. Then shift, left hip backwards, right hip forwards. Find that shift. You might even take the hands to the hips first to make sure the hips are even. Once you're there, then you can sink down. Arms are engaged. Breath in and out. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale, spin the back heel down, come to your warrior two. Arms are long. And then arms come to the legs. Okay, so first, don't worry too much about depth. First, let's find the external rotation. Roll the thighs out, like you're trying to push your pelvis forward. Straighten through the back leg as much as you can, and then sink down into the knee. Awesome work. Once you're down, push back up. We're going to take the opposite just to see how weird it feels. So internal rotation, and then sink down just a little. Bring it back up. External rotation, rolling thighs out and back behind you. Come down. Awesome. Now that you're at depth, trying to align the knee over the ankle, extend through the arms. Inhale. Gaze off the front of your hand. Exhale. Again, inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Exhale, hands come to your hips, straighten your front leg, turn both your toes to the side of the mat. Same thing, toes come in a little bit, hands are on the hips/thighs. We roll the thighs in towards one another, allow the butt to lead back, chest and heart are open, fold forward any amount. Eventually, you'll let the head drop down towards the ground. If you like, you could keep your hands on the hips, but remember, shoulders roll back, elbows towards one another. If not there, then maybe you bring them to the back of the legs, the ankles, the toes, the ground. You've got 3 breaths to explore what it's like to be upside down. We flipped our perspective, right? Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more, breath in. Pull the belly button in, exhale, fold, rock your weight towards your toes. All right, inhale, lift up halfway, hands maybe to the mat or to the hips. Exhale, stay. Inhale, bend in your knees just a little bit and then lift yourself all the way up to standing. Turn your left foot forward, bend into your left knee, extend your arms long, warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, sweep your hands down, frame your foot, wiggle your left foot out to the side, take the back knee down. So remember, option 1 is you're just like, yes, I'm gonna chill here and enjoy this stretch. Option 2 is to connect the knee to the tricep, push into the hands and try to slide the foot and lift it up for 3, 2, 1. Replace it back down on the ground. Then we all curl our back toes under, lift your back knee up, connect the knee to the tricep. Maybe you try to do the lift. Now it's a bit easier that we're higher. And back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, plank or knees down, tabletop pose. And let's lower down to the ground slow. Retract the scapula and then elbows back. 3, 2, to your belly. 1. Inhale, hands come out to the sides, just the fingertips, and lift up to a cobra variation. Exhale, stay. We'll take an extra breath here. Inhale, maybe lift a little higher. Exhale, lower down to the mat. Hands come by your sides, palms on the ground. Curl your toes under. Option 1, push up to tabletop. Option 2, lift the thighs, pull the belly in, push up to plank, and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward, lower your knees down to the ground. And then walk your hands back. Take a seat on your heels. Hands come to heart center. Okay, we're coming to a seat, but you'll try to do that without using your hands. So how will you get there? There are many ways. You might just slide over onto your butt. Maybe you do the old walk 1 foot forward and then sit back. 9,000 different ways to come to seated on your butt. We have one more warm up before we go to our peak pose. This is everybody's favorite, a crowd pleaser. Believe me, you can just think that now and then be the judge for yourself in 3 seconds when you want to reach through and hit me. A reminder that if you cramp, cramping is good. It means you're taking your body somewhere new today. Not a bad thing as long as it's a muscle engagement cramp. So let's take hands to heart center, or option, you could have hands, actually let's all do hands back first. Let's do a warm-up round just so everybody kind of gets the gist of it. So hands come back, fingertips point forward. Take a breath in, and then lift your left foot up off the ground. Awesome work, keep it lifted. Slowly extend the leg out to the side, little by little by little, until it's as far as you can get it. Your butt cheek should cramp, and then release down to the ground. Whew. Fantastic. Now we got to come out because we came in. Ready? Take a breath in. Lift the left foot up, and then very slowly, seamlessly, right? Just like a river, we travel smoothly back to center. Feet together, and release. Awesome job. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, other side, take a breath in, lift your right foot up. And then see how smooth you can be as you widen it out to the side. No rush to get there. Take your time until it's as wide as possible, and release down to the ground. Full cycle of breath in and out. All right, engage the right foot, brace, take a breath in, lift up. Slow hover of the foot, little by little, back to the midline and release. Awesome. Okay, so if that felt a good level of tough for you, you are welcome to stay there with the hands back behind you, if at all possible, and you can sit up fairly straight in this. Scoop the flesh out from under your butt so your sits bones are nice and firm on the mattress under you. Then bring your hands to heart center, or maybe even hands to the side if that feels okay. When you close the angle, it gets harder. So you kind of pick your level of hard. The closed angle here, more hard, less hard, even less hard. Ideally, I want you to barely be able to get your heel up off the mat. So you should barely be able to lift it, and you should be making faces. This is yoga, but my yoga says we can do whatever we want. So faces are totally approved of. Are you ready? If your quad cramps, I want you to come back in as soon as you can. Take a breath in. Let's lift the right foot up. Same side. Lift. And then very slowly, little by little by little. Don't beat me. Don't beat me. Don't beat me. Travel nice and slow. Maybe you got to move the hand. 3, 2, and 1. Release. Awesome work. If you need to, you can pound out the top of the thigh. All right. Come back into our prep position. Take a breath in. Brace. Try to lift the foot up off the ground. And if you're sliding it, I even love that more because that means you're working so hard you can barely lift it. Perfect. Hold and squeeze. Hold and squeeze. 3, 2, back to the midline. 1, and release. Terrible. It's just as hard for me, just so you know. I'm making sure I'm not cheating. All right, we're going to move on. Feel free to, again, pound, bounce out the right leg, anything to do to release those muscles a little bit. And then we'll come on to side 2. So it's only in and out. You can do that, in and out. All right, game face on. Ready? Take a breath in. And then lift left foot up. Should barely be able to lift. Start to widen the leg out to the side, little by little. This is where it gets hard, right? The further out we get. 3, 2, and 1. Release. If you need to pound it out, pound it out. Thank yourself for trying so hard. All right, back to center. Here we go. Side 2. We take a big breath in. Flex the left foot, lift up. Try to lift, hold, and then slowly move back to center. How slow can you go? You can go slower. I know you can. Easy does it. Easy does it. 3, 2, and 1. Release, foot down to the ground. Awesome work. Bounce the leg out. Feel free to massage this leg. You are ready. You are going to crush our peak pose today now. I promise, if your leg isn't too tired already, which it also might be. Okay, we are coming to tabletop pose. Again, can you not use your hands to get there? Maybe lean to one side, kick the feet around, push up, find your tabletop. Then once you're in tabletop, walk your hands one handprint forward and make sure your pointer finger is pointing forward. For us, this means that our arms will be an external rotation slightly. So fingertips pointing forward, curl your toes under, and then push up and back into downward facing dog. Walk your feet towards one another. Take a breath in, lift up on to your toes as high as you can get. Make your legs as straight as you can.
And then can you walk only on your toes with your legs as straight as you can for as long as you can until eventually you fold into Uttanasana, forward fold. And if you had to bend your knees the entire time, great, you're human. It's so normal. Let your head be heavy. Breath in and out. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit your butt back, chair pose, hands high. And then exhale when you're ready. Push up to standing, hands by your sides, Tadasana. When you're ready, you're like, I'm ready as soon as we get into chair pose. Okay, so for this posture, you are welcome, if you really struggle with balance, you're welcome to find something to put a hand on. It could be a wall, it could be a chair, something to help you balance just to see, and then you can play with releasing the hand. I'm not opposed to that at all. You can also try it first and then see where things go from there. So we are going to start, because it is a balancing pose, with your weight in your left leg. Hands come by your sides. Draw your right knee up into your chest. First, just find your balance. Nice. Okay. Once you're there, wrap your arms around your shin, give your knee a squeeze and pull it into the chest just for a little bit. Just a little bit of a squeeze. So we've been using the hip flexors a lot right now. I'm having you do just a passive stretch. You can kind of pull it in, release, pull it in. Okay. Keep the knee where it is. Release the hands back by the sides. Take a breath in. And then widen your knee out to the side without turning your hips. Option to stay here or reach your right hand high and then bring your forearm to the inside of that knee. Push your knee into your forearm and your forearm into your knee. Hold strong in the standing leg. You can do this. Stay there. If you really like this, push harder. Knee into forearm, forearm into knee. 3, 2, 1. Release. Draw the knee into the chest. And then feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Good patience, everybody. Breath in. Breath out. Okay, shift your weight over into your right leg. Left knee comes up first. Find your balance. A reminder that one side is always easier to balance on than another side. So maybe this is the side you're celebrating while someone else is like, oh, this is my hard side. Okay, now we take the knee in and just pull and squeeze. So you can bring the knee into the chest and then release it a little bit. Knee up, release. Bring it up, squeeze, and then release the knee and try to keep it exactly where it is, even without the hands. Take a breath in, and then widen that knee out to the side. Option to stay here. Remember, hips are pointing forwards, or lift your left hand up. Bring your left forearm to the inside of the knee. Push the knee into the forearm and the forearm into the knee. What this does is it actually helps us open our hips a little bit, right? Your pelvis will start to tuck more, hips will move forward. Maybe you can push a little bit harder. 3, 2, good control. 1, lift the hand up, draw the knee into the chest, and release. Feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Shake it out, big breath in. And out. Okay, round 2 with an opportunity to take it just a tiny bit further. Shift your weight over into your left leg. Same thing, right knee comes up into the chest. Inhale. And then right away you can widen right knee out to the side. Reach your right hand high. And then bring forearm to the inside of the knee. Now you might stay here, pushing. If you like this, you can stay here. If you like, you could also bring the hand to the knee and start to widen the knee out to the side while pushing the hips forward. Perfect. If that feels okay, you might extend the other hand up for balance, or you're welcome to reach your hand down towards your toes with your peace fingers and you might stay there. Option as always, again, you could bring your hand up and to extend the leg, whoop, if that feels comfortable. Reminder not to look at yourself or someone else that's falling. I looked at myself and made myself fall. Hold there, maybe reach that hand up, you can do it. Pull in, try to lift the knee as high as you can, no matter where you got it. 3, 2, yep, if it's here, hug. Nice work, everybody. 1, release, bring the knee into the chest, and feet together, hands by your sides, Tadasana. Breath in, and out. Okay, other side. Shift your weight into your right leg. Find your balance in the right leg. Left knee comes up. Bring it in. When you're ready, immediately start to widen it out to the side. Option one, you might stay here. This is really cool because what we're doing is you're engaging all those little muscles in your hip flexor. If you like, you could start to grab onto the knee and push the hips forward. Now think about tucking the glutes slightly to get the hips up. No booty popping back yet. All right, if that's okay, you can maybe reach down to grab for the peace finger, or with your peace fingers, you grab for the toe and hold there. Option to extend and hold there as well. Reminder that we want to stay as strong and straight as we can in our standing leg. Now pull your chest forward, open the heart, collarbones are reaching up towards the ceiling. Make sure we're not rounding in the back. 3. If you've got the knee, pull it up as high as you can. 2. 1, release the knee, keep it where it is. Draw it into center, take a breath in. Exhale, release. Oh my gosh, great work. Bounce the feet, shake the hips. Say hallelujah, you did it. Close your eyes and come to standing at Tadasana. Just observe the sensations in your body. Maybe you can feel the beat of your heart and your breath. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, sweep up, look up. Exhale, fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to plank or tabletop one more time for good measure, because we love strong arms. Let the elbows move backwards. 4, 3, 2 to your belly, and 1. Inhale, back bend of your choice. So maybe you want to do a Sphinx pose, Cobra, Up Dog, anything that feels good in your body, and then take an extra breath of that back bend. 1 more, inhale. And exhale, lower down. Now take a breath in, roll yourself over onto one side. Just flip over onto your back. Get comfortable. If you're anything like me, I'm going to slide some socks on because it's going to be cold as we move towards Shavasana. So feel free to sweater up, put socks on before we move into our final stretches of class. All right, then bring your hands by your sides. Walk your feet towards your hips. We'll move into bridge pose from one back bend to another, just a different kind. Inhale, lift your hips high. And maybe you start not too high. Finding the engagement by pulling your heels towards your hips without moving your feet. When you do that, you should feel your hamstrings fire up, your glutes. And then exhale, lower down 1 vertebra at a time, walking your way from the top of the spine down to the bottom, release. We'll take 3 rounds. So that was round 1. Let's have every round we get a tiny bit higher. Breath in, lift your hips up. Option to clasp the hands under the back this time if that feels accessible to you. Again, making sure that you're pulling heels towards hips. Do not turn your neck or look in any other direction once we get into here because it can really hurt our cervical spine. Hold 3, 2, and then 1. Release the hands. Separate the shoulder blades if you had the hands clasped. And lower down 1 vertebra at a time, building this mind-body connection. Once the hips are on the ground, take a full cycle of breath in and out. Final round. Inhale, lift the hips up. Option to take this as supported too if you'd like. If you're done lifting, maybe you take the hands and clasp them together under the back. See if you can lift not just through the low back and the hips, but also your heart. The idea is that your heart should push up and over the head, meaning we're bending from all areas of our spine. 3, 2, and 1. Release the hands. Same thing. Vertebra by vertebra, make your way down to the mat. And then once you're at the bottom, resist the urge to draw the knees into the chest yet, and instead take your left leg long. Right knee can come up towards the chest and then twist over to the left side. Arms can be at a T or maybe one hand to the outside of that leg. If it's okay on your neck, gaze over to the right. Option to take a block under the knee as well for support. Allow your breath to slow, your heart rate to slow. And then let's come back to center. Left knee in, right leg long. Transition over to the right side. Maybe you lift that right hip up and bump it under a little bit to get more space. Option to have the hand on the knee, hand on the floor. If possible, turn and look to your left. What areas of your body are still a little too tense in this posture? Tell them to relax and turn off. All right, make your way back to center. Even the hips out on the mat and come to a happy baby. You can reach up through the inside of the legs and grab for the outside of either the ankles or the feet. Pull the knees down. So a reminder that your knees should be on the outside of your triceps, just like we are when we're in a low lunge, because this allows the knees to widen to the side versus having them push into our chest. Breath in. And a breath out. One more inhale. And then exhale, draw your knees into your chest, wrap your arms around your shins, give yourself a little hug and a squeeze, pull the knees in. Maybe you can lift the forehead up towards the knees until you're in a little ball. 3, 2, and then as you exhale, 1, expand out, let your feet go long, your palms face up into a hard-earned Shavasana. Fantastic work, everyone. If you like a reminder, because you're at home, you could prop up with pillows, with blankets, with anything that will make you comfortable. Let your toes fall out to the sides, so wiggle your legs just to make sure your legs aren't clenching or your glutes aren't clenching anywhere. And if you like to return to our intention that we had at the beginning, our loving kindness intention, maybe you take Shavasana today with either 2 hands over the heart, or maybe just 1 hand on the heart, 1 hand on the belly to reconnect to this capacity for love. Let your eyes shut. Let your body fully relax. No tension in the jaw, no tension in that little space between your eyebrows. Take a breath in. And exhale into Shavasana. Inhale gently. Exhale fully. Reawaken your body with small movement in your fingers and toes. Maybe rock your head side to side. And then reach your hands up above your head. Take a morning stretch. Point your toes. And then you can draw one knee towards the chest and the other. Roll over onto your favorite side briefly, passing through fetal pose, our posture of rebirth and renewal. And then meet me in a seated meditation when you're ready. Option to bring two palms together at heart center, or maybe two hands over the heart if that feels more authentic to you. Take an inhale. Exhale, bow your chin to seal your practice. Send just a little bit more love to yourself, to someone who needs it, and to someone who challenges you. Lift your head back up. Slowly open your eyes. Thank you all. Fantastic work today. If you have any questions, as always, I'll hang out for a little bit. We can chat. Otherwise, you are welcome to message me. I hope you have a fantastic week. Remember to lean into your practices, your habits, your rhythms like yoga. And I will see you next Sunday for the Sunday Sweat Club. Talk soon.